Hey y'all, this is the People's Finder podcast by Mera Berimo. Illuminate that which is hidden within you.
Hey, my loves, welcome back to the People's Finder podcast, season 2, episode 8. My name is Merab if you're new here, and I'm the host of the People's Finder podcast, and I'm back with another episode. I hope your week has been amazing. Also, you're starting a new week because I usually post on Sundays. So I hope your Sunday will be good and your coming week will be amazing. Speaking of that, this is the last episode of the season. I really wanted to reach episode 10, but unfortunately, I won't be able to go to episode 10 just because I'll be busy. From next week, I'm going to be busy and I don't want to put content out that I'm not proud of. I want to put content that I'm really proud of. And episode 8 is not even that bad. Literally, we have 8 episodes on the People's Finder season 2. And yeah, you guys can go replay them, listen to them or share them. And I think this episode that I'm about to do is good because it's the last episode and it's episode about validating other people's feelings. I feel like this whole episode will be talking about just improving ourselves, what to learn about ourselves, but what about other people? So this episode, I thought it would be really nice for me to do a topic about validating other people's feelings and just how important it is to do that. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode and let's learn how to improve other people and to love other people around us. We cannot make people close themselves up for when they come around us. Let's make people open themselves and speak their mind when they are around us. So before I start, I want to just give you guys an understanding on what validation is. Validating someone's feeling doesn't mean you agree with them. It doesn't mean you concede that they are correct. It doesn't mean that those feelings are the healthiest. It doesn't mean that they are informed by logic. But validating someone else's feelings means that you remind someone that it is okay and it is human to feel that way. It is okay for them to feel the things that they don't always understand. Like if you've gone through things, you won't shut down other people because you'll understand where they're coming from. So validation is very important to human beings. So when someone comes to you with a problem, these are the ways that you're going to solve them. I'm going to start with how to deal with when someone comes to you. Number one, nurture them. People want someone who is nurturing, someone who listens to them. And I'm going to start with just the words that you use that are very important when nurturing comes. Number one, telling someone that I am sorry for what you're going through. That means a lot to them. I know this word sometimes seems cliche, but when someone is in that situation, they really appreciate when you say these things to them. Or letting them know that it's okay to feel the way that they are feeling. Letting them know that to let it all out. If they are crying, give them a shoulder so that they can cry on. Being patient with them. Giving them a shoulder to lean on or giving them a hug when they're in that situation. Also, telling them thank you for sharing and letting them know that you understand where they're coming from. And so that you can achieve all this, appear open and curious about their emotions and also trust their answers. This is not the time for you to be there and try to give them a million solutions. Trust their answers, trust the emotions because they're there to let it all out. Be there for them, make them know that they are heard and understood. Be a very good listener and always remember that you listen to understand and not to respond. I'm very bad at that because sometimes I just want to respond. But if someone comes to you with a problem, wait till they finish putting those things out and then you can come and be like, oh wow, like sorry, put now your solutions to it. But when they're talking, give them time to talk, give them time to cry, let their thought collect. Also remember, this is not a time for you to change their mindset. Have you ever been in a very bad situation, even if someone tells you, no, think about this, so you don't want to? You don't want to. Also, later on, as we continue, I'm going to tell you things not to say. So stay tuned. These are some of the ways that will help someone open up to you when they're speaking. It will make them open up to you more and more. Listening skills is very important. Nod your head. When they tell you to nod their head, give them eye contact. Your facial expressions also needs to be right. And also don't interrupt them. Let them just talk. You can hold their hands. Make sure that they feel safe when they're there with you. The other thing is just avoid blame. Maybe someone comes because you guys had a controversy and they come to talk about it. This is not the time for you to blame them. That is the time for you to put your ego aside and listen to them. Also be very open to apologize. As you guys know already, I'm a very like reality show kind of girl and I watch so many. Currently I'm watching Vanderpump Villa. And these people make the little things to be so big because they don't apologize. Just saying sorry and apologizing correctly is very important. And by this time, I know you guys know the ways of apologizing correctly. When it comes to apologizing, just be there and tell someone, you know what, I'm sorry that I said it. Yes, I didn't mean for it to hurt you, but it did hurt you, and I'm sorry, and I won't do it again. That is the right way of apologizing. But some people, when they apologize, they're usually like, oh, I'm sorry that I did ABCD, but it was your fault. That's not apologizing. Apologizing is just accepting your fault and keeping quiet, putting your ego aside and letting it be. So we've come to that part where I want to tell you what not to say when someone comes to you and needs a shoulder to cry on. Number one, you're being too emotional. Never tell someone that. No one wants to hear that. We are human beings and being emotional is very okay. I'm a very emotional person. I cry like 5 times a week. I'm just kidding. But I am a very emotional person, so I understand it. If you're not an emotional person and you don't cry often, you have to realize some people are different. So be there for them even if they cry more than you cry, because people are so different. Number two, telling someone that you are too sensitive or you're too dramatic. That's not the right way to go about it. Or letting someone know that if I were you, I would have done this and this differently. That's not the time to tell someone that. People don't want to hear that. If someone is in their head and they're sad, they don't want to hear the past tense. People want to hear the future. Let them know that it's going to be okay. Things like that. Also, telling someone that, oh, there are people that are dying or some people are having it worse. It's like I was watching this episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I don't know if you guys have watched. When Kim Kardashian lost her diamond earrings in the ocean, and then Kourtney was like, Kim, there are people that are dying. And Kim was crying. Kim was sad because she spent so much money in the diamond earrings. Remember, we don't refuse that people are dying or people are hungry. But when someone is in emotions, they are also human beings. The thing that you're going through is not less than what they should go through. It's not less of an emotion. Emotion is emotion. So be there for them no matter what circumstance. Or when someone comes and tell you at least you have a job, when you've cried to them that your job is tearing you down. That's not the time for you to tell them that. That's the time for you to let them know that look for a better place, or just give them a solution. Give them things that they want to hear. And the importance of why validation is very important to human beings. Number one is just lift so much weight off our shoulders. And also, people feel seen and heard. As human beings, that's all that we want to feel. We want to feel heard, we want to feel seen. And when you're in your darkest times, you feel little. So being there for someone and making them feel seen is very important. Also remember, if you start with reminding them that anyone in their situation will probably feel similar to how they do right now, and that it's very possible that they can have strong, overwhelming emotions, that doesn't necessarily mean their lives are completely ruined. We know this because when we stop resisting feeling sad, we realize that it will not last forever. We say that sometimes the biggest problem isn't that we are devastated, but that we refuse to accept what is in front of us. We create so much more suffering than we would if we had just had a cry when we needed to have a really good cry. Even you as a person, not just other people, let that cry out. Crying does help. Crying releases so much emotions. Nobody should tell you that, oh, you are so strong, you shouldn't cry, especially when it comes to men. It's okay to cry. Let it all out. And if you validate your feeling, you'll be very able to validate other people's feelings. And it starts by you just letting those emotions out. I'm going to finish this episode by just letting you guys know that validating other people teach us how to validate ourselves. And when we learn how to validate ourselves, we become stronger. We see that our emotions are no longer threats, but informants. They show us what we care about, what we want to savor, and what we want to protect. They remind us that life is fleeting and challenging and gorgeous. When we are willing to accept the darkness, it is only then that we find the light. Always remember that. I can't believe, guys, that we've come to the end of this season. Episode 8 is a wrap now. We have 8 episodes out. If you haven't listened to all of them, you can go click on YouTube or Spotify. Also, don't forget to follow the People's Finder podcast on Instagram. On Instagram is where everything goes, it's where the tea is. I post so much motivational quotes, I post reels, and that makes me happy because if I know someone else is being motivated, it's really nice because sometimes we need helping hands on our day-to-day basis. So go follow People's Finder podcast. The next season will be next year. For the rest of the year, I just want to wish you the best. I want to wish you that you achieve everything that you've always wanted to achieve this year. And even more, even if you don't, I pray that God will give you double of what you wanted. Or even if it's something different, it will be very impactful and growing to you. So, yeah, don't forget to always view life positively, even if the things don't go well as you would wish them to go. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next season. I'm gonna miss you guys. Honestly, season 3 will be so different because I will be so big. I'll have grown so much. Like it's like when a year passes, you're a different person, and yeah, crazy. And I wish that you also grow. So yeah, see you guys next year. Thank you for all the love and support. I always imagine that I'm talking to a room full of 10 people or even 19 people, 20 people. Everyone who listens, I always imagine that. That's why like it motivates me each time to do a new podcast. And it's a wrap. And don't forget to pray. Don't forget to be kind to other people. See you
In
guys
the
in
next
the next
episode,
season.
bye.